Super Mario World remains one of my favorite 2D platformers ever. However, for everything this classic side-scroller did right in the late 90s, there was one thing it lacked: depth and atmosphere. There were exceptions. Valley of Bowser, Emerging, and the final fight were both pretty intense, but for the most part it was a silly romp through colorful worlds to the tune of some upbeat music. Just don't mind the giant saws. No, there's another game series on the same system that covered what Super Mario didn't. That was Donkey Kong Country. You may be wondering now, how can a game about a gorilla recovering his stolen bananas possibly be any more sophisticated than a plumber saving a princess? Well, that can be broken down easily to one major component: an unparalleled delivery of music and visual ambience alongside the adventure. Today I'll be looking at the dark aspects of DKC, this time focusing on the mature direction and tone this game changer established. The plot of Donkey Kong Country is as basic as one would expect. Without the strategy guide backstory that adds a bit more world building, in-game the player can head to the bottom of Donkey's treehouse to reveal the missing banana hoard he must get back, learning later that the culprit is King K. Rool, a fearsome dictator with an intimidatingly bloodshot eye. Why exactly he's taking the bananas is up for debate, whether he wants to stave off the Kongs, which is dark in itself, or feed his own pirate crew to combat scurvy, as suggested in another video of mine. We'll be looking less at theorization and more towards fact. So, dismissing hypothetical implications, the concept of stealing bananas is unarguably silly. What else does this tyrant do then as a villain, and why should he be threatening? To start, he has unleashed his entire army to scourge DK Island, and in that time was able to construct an entire factory in the fifth world of the game. Since it was presumably built on once lush ground, this marks the first time in the trilogy this theme of technology versus nature is explored, and I quite like its execution here. It's subtle. Kremkrock Industries Inc. is dangerous, and the music expresses that very well. The Game Boy Advance version conveys this even better visually, as the map screen paints a more terrifying picture of what this water pollution looks like from the outside. Other than this one theme, there isn't any other area with a message, which takes me to my main analysis of what this game is primarily about. A journey trekking through a jungle, and the jungle can be a scary place. In addition to the hostile critters trying to stop your progress, there are plenty of natural predators like sharks willing to end your game too. And in this, again, the music works to really make the player feel fear on a subconscious level. How exactly? Well, legendary composer David Wise uses his signature sound to incorporate ambient noises with a tonal tune, directly reflecting his interpretation of each level theme. Aquatic Ambience is a commonly referred to example, as it provides a calming yet cautious atmosphere, perfect for an underwater stage where everything is slower paced. You never know what's lurking beneath these depths, so there's a twinge of suspicion in the melody like most other tracks in the OST. Blizzarding mountains convey danger, even with the environment seemingly against you. Temple locations give ominous undertones, and dim caves mix sounds of dripping ceilings into a mysterious song. But David Wise is not only a master of deciding what songs fit to which stages, but also knowing when to use them. In the case of Misty Minds, there's a complete absence of an overlaid tune at all. A choice of silence in a dank, foggy arena with only sound effects to keep you on your toes really emphasizes the uncomfortability these levels emanate. There are also more of the cave types than any other level layout in the game, meaning a good portion of this adventure is careful spelunking, thanks to the music track or lack thereof. To contrast, I feel that I should mention minecarts, and they're bringing a different style of fear. They work to intimidate with fast-paced obstacles that require intimate concentration to best. Heart-racing gameplay means hopping over a jagged track to clear bottomless pits, leading to instant death and frustration for many players hoping to simply make it to the end in one piece. Minecart Carnage sounds quite brutal too. If you're a madman and want both high-action thrill and ambient horror combined, check out Stop and Go Station. Or don't, it's better to stay far, far away from these rock abominations. Blackout Basement's more on the frightening side too, with flickering lights and lurking critters in this pitch-black area. Moving away from level design though, I'd like to now mention the game over screen. Instead of a simple text pop-up, this game clearly wants to make you feel bad for ending these Kong's journey early. Battered and beaten, a bruised pair of heroes look dejectedly at the camera, against a background void of light, sporting bandages and a black eye for Diddy. To top it off, a crude wooden font hangs overhead with melancholic music, leaving the player with the sole option of mashing their controller to make it stop. I'm obviously exaggerating its effect a bit to be entertaining, but the fact remains that it's at the very least scary. If you manage to pull through and not let this be the fate of these characters, K. Rool challenges an intense showdown to the beat of what is arguably the most climactic final boss theme of all time, of course making for a seriously engaging battle. Defeating him allows the credits to roll, that is, after the fake ones, but his wrath and therefore these dark aspects are not over yet, as there are still 2 entire games to cover for this series. Join me next time for DKC2, the much more foreboding and outwardly intimidating sequel. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.